Welcome, friends. You're listening to the Swears and Does Hair podcast for bridal hairstylists and makeup artists looking to take their business to new levels. Here we tackle topics such as mindset, finances, balancing business with motherhood, and healthy strategies to keep your body and mind supporting your business rather than holding it back. I'm your host, Sue Minsky, business coach for bridal artists and creator of the Next Level Bridal Business Program. Thanks for joining me. I can't wait to dig into today's topic, so let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Swears and Does Hair podcast. I am your host, Sue Minsky, and today we are talking about something that really holds a lot of people back when it comes to meeting their booking goals and moving their business forward. It is the excuses that we tell ourselves about why something is not working in our business or why we're not getting as many bookings as we could be. And one of the biggest ones that I see all the time that people fall back on is, oh, it's the economy. Okay. The economy is holding me back. People aren't spending as much money. People use the economy as an excuse for why their business isn't doing as well all the time in every single industry. And to a degree, yes, the economy can have an impact on business overall. But I'll tell you something right now. There are hairstylists and makeup artists out there who are killing it. Okay. They are booking brides left and right, or they have these huge waiting lists. So if the economy was really a huge factor and really what's holding you back, nobody else would really be booking. Everybody would kind of be on an even playing field. So uh, stop telling yourself that, because it's just a crutch in order to hold you back from making changes in your business. So if things are not working, but other people are still being successful, then guess what? It's something that you are doing in your business, in your process, that could be improved. All right. So stop blaming brides as a whole. Stop blaming the economy as a whole. All right. There are things that you can do to give your business a boost so that you are not left behind. Okay. So if you're not getting as many bookings for 2024 as you want to be, or you still have a lot of space open in 2023, even though there are less brides getting engaged. Okay. We've talked before in several different episodes about how right now we're going through a correction in the industry. So, yes, the economy is playing a factor. And the fact that our industry is going through a correction and there are less brides overall doesn't necessarily mean that is the only thing that's holding you back. So let's take a look at some things that you can do to boost your business, boost your bookings, so you don't get left behind, because there are people who are out there and they are doing great and they are killing it. Let's get you to that point as well. All right, so number one, and throughout this, I'm going to give you several other resources that I've created to help you. So I'm going to give you 3 big tips, and each one is going to come with some homework, so to speak, whether that's an additional podcast episode that I recommend listening to, some resources that I have, some free checklists and downloads that I have, and challenges, some of the master classes that I have created that you can purchase to help you on a specific topic or a specific area. Or whatnot. So each of these 3 tips are things that you can start implementing in your business to give you a boost, but they will require a little bit of extra homework. So if you are ready and you are willing to do the work, you can turn around and you can start to see the same results as the other people who are doing so well and taking all of these bookings of these brides who are ready to book, so you don't get left behind with all of these little like leftover brides. You don't want the sloppy seconds, guys. All right. We want those dream brides. Let's work on improving our business so we can collect them. All right. Number 1, dust off your business profile and your digital footprint. I've mentioned what I call my digital footprint before. That is all the places that your business is represented online. online. Think of it like literal footprints walking across the internet, guys. Okay. Your Instagram, your Facebook, your website, your knot or wedding wire profiles, your Zola profiles, whether you have like a LinkedIn, your TikTok, your Snapchat, like all of these other little places, your Google My Business listing, your Yelp listing, however you have your business professionally represented online, that is a piece of your digital footprint. If you're not getting enough bookings, there's something missing in the information that you're putting out there that's moving brides through the buying process. They're finding you, they may really like your work, but they're not moving forward towards that booking. They may be inquiring with you, but you're getting a lot of ghosting because you haven't pushed them over that hump. You haven't overcome their fears or their considerations or their objections. Okay. And a lot of times we jump to, oh, price. Price is why. And the economy affects price. And that's why it's an easy scapegoat to blame the economy and to blame pricing as why people aren't moving forward with you. But I'm telling you, there are people out there who are more expensive than you and they are doing just fine. So, let's take a look at your digital footprint. Do a spring/summer cleaning. Okay. Now is a great time to go through all of your online presence and all of your profiles and do this cleanup. It's part of my engagement season checklist, which is a free resource. I'll put a link to it in the description for today's episode. You can go fill it out for free, enter your name, your email address, and 30 seconds later, you can download it and a copy will be sent in a PDF to your inbox as well. If you check your inbox and it's not there, check your spam folders. If you've never gotten anything from me in an email before, sometimes it'll go under like the promotions tab or whatever if you use like Gmail. So it's a whole checklist and it's essentially a spring cleaning for your digital footprint. I highly recommend doing it right before engagement season hits so that when you're flooded with all of these new brides who are newly engaged and starting to shop for vendors, you already have your profiles spiffed up, you have the information that you need out there. But what's great about doing this actually in the summer beforehand, especially when it comes to your social media, is that you can start to gain momentum so that you are literally going to be way ahead of the curve. So everybody else, when they're going through and they're downloading this checklist later on in like September and October, when I start really heavily promoting it every year, and they're just finding the checklist and they're just starting to, you'll have done it this summer. Okay. So you will have an extra couple of months of momentum helping to springboard you forward before 2024 hits so that by, this time next year, June, July, August of 2024, you've filled up your entire year and you've moved on to 2025 and building a waiting list for 2026. So this is the power of planning in advance and taking these slower times as a blessing versus looking at it from an eye of envy going, I am not as busy as so-and-so. I wish my business was to this point. Yes, we need the money to pay our bills and stuff like that. And that's why we want to be booked and we want to be busy and things like that. Okay. But a lot of dissatisfaction from our lack of bookings comes from jealousy. It comes from the comparison game of looking at other people in our market and saying, I wish I was them, or looking at these big educators and social media influencers and being like, I wish I was to where they are. I wish I was doing, 50, 75, 100, 200 weddings a year. I wish I was making these income goals or whatever. So don't fall into that trap and be dissatisfied with where you are. So one, that's a little mindset thing, and we're going to talk a little bit more about mindset again towards the end as well. But, look at this slower time right now, if that's what you're in, if that's the phase of your business, if that's the season that you're in right now is just a little bit slower, or you might just be in a part of the country where July and August is like dead because the heat is so bad and not as many people are getting married. That is a blessing. Okay. I want to help to shift your mindset when it comes to all things in your business, to stop looking and focusing on the negative and say, how can I take this negative? How can I take these lemons and turn it into lemonade? How can I take this negative situation and turn it around? How can I make it work for myself? How can I make it positive? What benefit does this negative interaction or this negative circumstance bring my business? Because there's always something positive to be found in the hard times of business. Nobody's business is smooth sailing and perfect all the time. The moments of the highest growth and building of our business come after periods of the most hardship. Okay, those precede the growth. So if you're in a moment of doubt, if you are in a moment of struggle, if you are in a moment of conflict, and you're just not being where you are, or to me, where you want to be, that is a signal that your business is getting ready to grow. And then when you get to that next level, guess what's going to happen again? You're going to have growing pains and you're going to go through more struggle. That's going to precede your next level of growth. That is just how business works. At every level, there is a new set of struggles. So, here's a couple of other things that you can do. So, there's my engagement season checklist. It's totally free. Okay. Like I said, in 30 seconds, you enter your name and your email address. You have the PDF. It walks you through step by step for each area how to improve it. If you are willing to put in a little bit of money, I have another resource. It's $47. Okay. It's called my 30-day Instagram challenge. All right. Earlier in the summer, before I launched Visibility Factor, my goal was I wanted to do a big live 30-day challenge in the month of June. Fortunately, revamping Next Level Bridal Business and reformatting a lot of masterclass magic took up too much of my time. And I really didn't have time to promote to the live version of the 30-day challenge. I did it last June. It was amazing. We had like 25 people who went through it, and they all got great results. The 30-day challenge is actually one of the biggest things that introduces people into my style of teaching and how I do marketing. And it's like the precursor. Okay. A lot of people who end up doing the 30-day Instagram challenge end up upgrading into other opportunities in my coaching world, whether it is a course or a one on one coaching or a social media audit, things like that. It's like that gateway drug because it's so fucking easy. It's literally 30 days long, and every single morning at 9 a.m., you will get an email in your inbox. Okay, now this is 9 a.m. Eastern time, so if you live in a different time zone, it'll be sent to your inbox at 9 a.m. Eastern time. All right. And it is a sequence of 30 emails. It's already pre written, it's already done, it's already proven strategy. Okay. It is the exact same steps in the exact same order that everybody else is using to get the same results. All right. So every morning, 9 a.m., one new small task. Okay. One task. It might be watch this 8-minute video where I break something down and I explain a feature inside of Instagram and how to utilize it better. It might be take 5 minutes and go archive some posts that aren't working for you and that are holding you back in your Instagram profile. Sometimes it will be here is an idea for a reel that will really help you. Okay, so every single day, it's supposed to take between 5 to 15 minutes or so of your time. And it's to get you into the habit of every single day working on a small piece of your business. You do not have to make huge leaps forward. You don't need to put that level of pressure on yourself. 5 to 15 minutes a day is really all that it needs to really start to see some amazing momentum. And then after that, you're just continuing those good habits. And even if you don't do it after the 30 days, the whole purpose of it is to optimize your Instagram profile. So when people are finding you online, when you are posting new things, when you are posting new reels and getting some traction online, when people make it to your profile, it's already optimized. They're already seeing that know, like, and trust factor. Go back a few episodes and watch my podcast on the know, like, and trust factor. It is episode 61. Okay, so how to increase the know, like, and trust factor in your social media. All right, we're going to be doing that throughout the 30-day challenge. So when people find you, they know you, they like you, they trust you, and they are moving forward through the buying process. Okay, if you're not ready to take active action, all right, you can go back and you can listen to episode 55 of the podcast where I talk about better bridal branding. Okay, so this is going to help you have a deeper understanding of how your branding online affects your online image. All right, and that is just another way that you can also clean up your digital footprint. So when people are finding you, they're moving through that buying process better. Okay, so the next tip is to do a Dream Bride audit. Okay, you want to take your Dream Bride profile that you've created, because this should be one of the very first things that you do when you're trying to improve your marketing and grow your business. You want to know who specifically your marketing message is supposed to be attracting. If it's not attracting that person, then this is when you need to go through and you need to write one of these. This is the whole purpose of my mini course, Unique as Fuck, and the phase 1 portion of Next Level Bridal Business. I've been talking about it a lot in the last couple of podcast episodes because it is getting ready to be relaunched in the next few weeks. Okay. But this is that second step to improving your online presence. All right. When you're making marketing messages, it needs to talk to your dream bride specifically. You cannot just talk to brides in general. They will not relate to that message. Yes, they are a bride, but a 30-year-old bride is not the same thing as a 24-year-old bride. And a bride in Alabama is not the same as a bride in Washington State, okay? A boho leaning bride is not the same as somebody who's getting married in DC at this high price, like museum type modern venue kind of thing. Okay. Like they have different personalities, they have different priorities, they have different fears, they have different concerns. I talked in the last couple episodes about how to identify some of those things. So if you want to just keep listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube videos, go back the last 3 or 4 episodes and re-listen or re-watch those, because I talk a lot about this. If you're not ready to invest in the mini course and you're not ready to invest in the full business course and Next Level Bridal Business, at least do yourself the favor of going back and re-listening or re-watching the last several podcast episodes, because I've been talking so much. I don't want to gatekeep. I don't want to hold you back and be like, well, I'm not going to give you all the answers unless you pay me. However, if you're willing to do the work, okay, and put in the investment of your time and your money, there is a lot deeper information and how to put it more into effect inside those 2 courses. Okay. This signature process that I have developed for our industry is what I teach inside of those 2 programs. Okay. So you can go back through and you can get as much as you can from the free information. I try and give you as much as I can because I want to see everybody in this industry succeed. But at the same time, this is also my full-time job. This is how I support my family and support my children. And I have put together this process, and it does have value and deserve to be a paid thing. Okay, I can't just give you the keys to the castle for free. All right. So I've done my end of the job. I have done all of my front-loaded work in putting this together. If you're willing to do the other end, it's an option for you. All right. So you take that dream profile, all right, and you list out where the bride is shopping for vendors. Okay. Now, this is one of the projects that you work through inside of Unique as Fuck. There's a whole worksheet and all that kind of stuff that walks you through this process, but you want to take a look at where your bride is shopping for vendors. What blogs is she reading? What websites is she going through? What venues is she researching? What vendors is she researching? What social media groups is she participating in? And what social media platforms is she on looking for vendors? You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket and go all in 100% on Instagram. I'll give you a quick little story about one of my former students. So Amelia is one of my next level bridal business students. I've talked about her a few times before. I'm like a proud mommy. I'm all of my students, I feel like everybody's mom, and like sometimes they like call me their mama, and they'll be like, "Oh, I hope I'm making mom proud." Like they'll do something online with their marketing and I'll message them and I'll be like, "Yes, that was amazing. Like you're doing so good." And they're like, "Oh, I made mom proud." But Amelia decided to take a social media break at the beginning of 2023. Okay. I don't know what's going on in her life that preempted this, whether she was just like, I want to focus on other things, or if she was feeling burnout or whatever. We didn't discuss it. This was just something that I noticed, like, oh, okay, she's not posting as frequently anymore. And then it kind of really started to drop off. So she popped back up in an online Facebook group that we're both a part of because somebody was actually asking for, hey, I want to focus on my business and I'm looking into education and I'm looking into hiring a business coach. Who do you guys recommend? And several people jumped in and recommended me. And so that's how I noticed that she was commenting and she was posting on it. And she said, I took a big break from posting on social media this year. And she goes, I thought that my inquiries would dry up. She's like, I really thought things were just going to dry up. And she's like, they haven't. I'm so shocked. Because when you are doing all of your marketing correctly and you are putting in the time to build up your profiles correctly, they continue to work without you having to like feed it every single day. Okay. They continue to bring in what's called evergreen leads. All right. It's evergreen, like, a pine tree or a spruce tree. They're evergreen. They don't die and then come back. Okay. Whereas, I can't remember, deciduous trees, I think it is. I don't know. Don't quote me. I'm not a botanist. But those are the trees that, like bud in the spring and then flourish in the summer and then they start to die off in the fall and they're dead in the winter. Dead. The leaves are dead. The tree is still alive. But evergreen is always this beautiful green. So that is a term that's used in the marketing industry of it's always green. It's always working for you. It's always bringing in business. When you set up your business correctly, all right, you can full on stop posting on Instagram for months and still continue to see results. You can still continue to see inquiries. If you ever were to visit my personal Instagram that I used to use to market my bridal business, I get inquiries constantly. I post like a handful of times a year. I think I posted like 3 times in 2022. All right. And every single day I was telling people, no, I'm not booking for 2023. I'm retiring at the end of 2022. And finally, in like February or March of 2023, I had to put in big bold, up at the top, not doing weddings anymore. Okay. Because I had created this funnel system that fed my business leads in my sleep. Like literally I had posted a handful of times in 2022 and I was still consistently getting leads. I finally had to be like, all right, I don't have time to keep responding to everybody to tell them I'm not doing this anymore, that I'm retired. So that is the power of putting together these systems properly and understanding, who your dream bride is and where she's shopping and making sure that your digital footprint, your business is showing up in the places where brides are looking. They're not just using Instagram. Instagram is incredibly powerful. 80 plus percent of brides are using Instagram to search for vendors, but they are looking in other places. So you don't want to focus too heavily just on posting on Instagram. It's not about quantity, okay? It's about quality. And I really want people to understand that. Yes, you can go from 0 to 100 really freaking quick by pumping out tons and tons and tons and tons of content. All right. You want to post a reel every single day for 90 days, plus carousels, plus, 7 to 10 stories a day. Yeah, you're going to grow really, really quickly. However, that is not what has to be necessary. Okay. There are other ways to grow. I've grown my entire coaching business through Instagram. I only have like 1,300 or 1,400 followers. It is the quality of the content that continues to bring me in new students consistently. Okay. And it is the quality of the students that allow me to branch out and to put time and effort into multiple different places so that I have a balanced marketing strategy. All right. I don't have to just put everything into Instagram. I did that for the first few years, and it helped me to grow, and it helped me to create a foundation. But I also put equal time into other places like my blog and this podcast. And now I'm starting the YouTube channel. Okay. I put a lot of time in Facebook groups. If you're a part of any of the big bridal hair or makeup Facebook groups, usually you'll see me in there commenting and sharing knowledge and trying to be as helpful as I possibly can for people who are struggling in those groups. Okay. So you don't have to put everything into one traffic source. And you don't need to have a huge ton of followers in order to be successful. I have way less than 10,000 followers. I think I only have a few thousand on my bridal Instagram. And I was maximum booked, 12 to 18 months in advance for pretty much my entire career. Okay. So don't confuse online popularity with success. Some people, that is their main traffic source. And so they're going to go all in and they're going to be like, this is what got me to where I am, because that is what got them to where they are. But it's not the only way. All right. So, understanding where your dream bride is online will help you to balance your time and balance your energy effectively so you don't burn out in one place. All right, tip number 3, and then we're going to start to kind of wrap this up, is shift your message. That is the entire thing that I've been talking about for like 3 or 4 podcast episodes now, is shifting your marketing message. What are you saying to your brides in order to draw them in and move them through the booking process? Okay. How are you creating content that speaks to all 3 stages of the buying journey? If you haven't heard me talk about the 3 stages of the buying journey before, go back and listen to episode 57. It is about creating content that converts. I talk a bit about the buying journey in there. The other resource for you that can really help you on the buying journey is Masterclass Magic. It is the June 2023 lesson. It goes hand in hand with episode 57, where it is talking about content creation, on creating the right message that speaks to your bride at the right time in her buying journey in order to move her through from just finding you to comparing you to somebody else to being ready to book. You want to have content that speaks to her at all 3 stages, and that not only speaks to her at all 3 stages, that motivates her to move from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. All right. That is what gets people to buy. That is how you take this influx of followers and engagement that you may be getting online and actually turn them into bookings. Because you can have 10,000 followers and an empty book, guys. All right. Followers does not equal bookings. It's just people, they like your content, but they don't necessarily trust you enough to book with you. So you have to understand how to move people through, and I have several resources that help you with that. That episode 57, which is free, Masterclass Magic, the June 2023 masterclass lesson, it's $27 a month. You could join for 1 month, binge them all, and then cancel. I don't care, if you want to be like that. But literally, you could. I don't think I've had a single person cancel since I had them join at the beginning of the year. I had one person cancel in March because she joined in January on the promotion when I first launched it. And then by March, she hadn't ever logged in and watched anything. So instead of continuing to pay $27, she decided she just didn't have the time in her schedule. She went ahead and canceled. Okay. Every other person who has joined the last several months has continued to go through the membership every single month, because there's so much fucking value in these master classes. They're like 45 minutes. It's not just like my YouTube videos where I'm sitting here and I'm just talking to you. There's like visuals and slides, and I use statistics, and I use, stories of, not only what helped my business grow, but my students. And everything that I teach is stuff that either I implemented and I have statistics from my own business, or things that I have worked through with my students in the last 3 years, one-on-one, strategies that we've implemented and put into place, and how that worked. A lot of times I will kind of use students kind of quote unquote as like guinea pigs. I have specific ones who I know are open and they're like, sure, I'll test something for you. I can, write a new phrase that I'm like, okay, add this into your emails. Let's take a look. What's your booking percentage now? Let's check back in after 2 weeks. And then we check back in after 30 days. How did that affect your booking rates? Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? So I'm never just like literally pulling things out of my ass and being like, hey, do this because I think it'll work. I test everything out with my students. And then once I've proven that methods are actually effective, I put it into a masterclass, or I add it as a new module inside of one of my courses. So if you're interested in Masterclass Magic, that's an option. All right. So final thoughts before we end today's episode and I talk your ear off again. I want you to ask yourself, why do you want more bookings? This may seem like a no-brainer to some people, and they'd be like, well, of course I want more bookings. Who doesn't want more? There are a lot of people actually who don't want more. There are people who want more freedom, who want more balance, who want more time away from their business, and who want more control over their bookings and their schedule. Not everybody is motivated by money, okay? So if you are one of the people who is like, no, I'm motivated by money, I need money, 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 and you're chasing a specific income goal, why? Because somebody on the internet says that they made that much money? Why? Why does that number speak to you? Is it because it's what you need to live? Is it because it is a dream of yours to make that much money, to prove to yourself that this industry is possible? That's cool. That's good. But why? And what will you actually get from reaching those specific goals? I am all for having goals. I am all for smashing glass ceilings and people making as much fucking money in this industry as possible. I love to educate people on pricing and making more money. I love to help my students make more money. 99% of the time, if you get on a coaching call with me, one of the first things that I'm going to talk to you about and be like, okay, let's take a look at your pricing. Send me your price list, or we'll talk about your price list. How much are you charging for this? When was the last time you did a price increase? What are your profit margins? All those things. And then almost always I'm going to be like, you need to raise your prices. Okay. So don't get me wrong when I'm saying, why? Why do you want these things? Understanding your internal motivation helps you make better decisions for your business. Sometimes it's not always making more bookings or increasing your number of bookings. You might be at a sweet spot where it's perfect. It feels great with the number of bookings that you have, as far as like your work-life balance and your workload and your free time and your time with your family, but you're like, I'm just chasing this income goal. I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to make $200,000 a year, 300,000, like whatever your number is that you're chasing, and you don't see how to get to that point without booking more. And it's not always a question of more. So if you understand, well, what's my motivation? What are my goals? What will that bring me? Then you can start to make smarter decisions about how you're going to get yourself there. Sometimes it's not about more. Sometimes it's about better quality, and doing all the things that I've talked about will, yes, help you to increase and get more bookings, but at the end of the day, it's going to increase the quality of your bookings. And if you have really high quality bookings, your marketing is dialed in, you're speaking to your dream brides, those are the people that are booking, that's when raising your prices becomes effortless. Okay. If you have these income goals, but you want to work smarter, but not harder, and you don't know quite how to get from A to B when it comes to raising your rates to the point where it's going to get you to these income goals, that's where understanding your branding, that's where understanding your dream bride, that's where understanding your unique selling proposition, what sets you apart from your competition in your area, what do you do that's worth these rates. Okay. So you get all of those pieces of the puzzle together, and then raising your rates just becomes effortless. Okay. So if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know if you're making enough money to justify, and having to book so many weddings or whatever, I have a resource available for you for that as well. It's called my Ultimate Pricing Guide for Bridal Artists. Okay. There's two options to it. Number one is the PDF. Okay. It's $27. That's the base. You pay $27, you get the PDF. I think it's like 40 something pages or whatever, and it walks you through all of this in-depth psychology of setting your prices and marketing strategies and things like that. You can upgrade and add on the training videos and the pricing calculator for an additional $47 at checkout. So you can't just get the videos and the calculator. You have to get the PDF because you have to read through it. That's where the meat of everything is. Okay. And then the training videos expand on specific topics. And then you also get access to an online calculator where you can play around with your numbers and you can actually see where your profit margins are. There's opportunities in there to figure out margins so you can set your prices properly if you want to have independent contractors or if you want to start building a team. All those kinds of things, they're all in there. So there'll be a link again to that as well, but it's on my website, it's on my social media. You can look it up. It's my Ultimate Pricing Guide for Bridal Artists. Like I said, 27 bucks, and it will make you that much money back in spades with the very first time that you start implementing these strategies. All right, time to close it out this week. Our affirmation: my potential is limitless. The only thing holding me back is my own mind. Once I release my excuses, I will be free of the anchor holding me stuck at my current level. Okay? Let's repeat. My potential is limitless. The only thing holding me back is my own mind. Okay? Once I release my excuses, I will be free of the anchor holding me back at my current level. All right. So thank you so much for joining me in this week's episode. There's just a few episodes left, and then we are done with season 2. I am looking for what you guys want to hear me talk about this coming fall when we go into season 3. If you have topics you want to see me discuss more in depth on the podcast, or if you have people you would love to see me interview. This season, I didn't do a whole lot of interviews. And I'm wondering, did you guys miss the interviews? Do you like the interview episodes? Do you enjoy those? Get some of the best feedback depending on the guests. Some people, I don't hear anything about that episode. I'm like, maybe we didn't like that. And then other ones I have certain guests on, and people are writing in and being like, oh my God, I love this episode. Thank you so much. It helped me. What a great episode, blah, blah, blah. So if you have somebody you would love to hear me interview, send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know. Or you can look up my email address on my website and send me an email and just be like, hey, I really think you should interview this person. And I will reach out to them and see if they're interested in being a guest on the show. So that's it for this week. I will see you back same time, same place next week. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you feel empowered, knowledgeable, and capable of handling anything that your business throws your way. Don't forget to subscribe to get access to new episodes as they are released here on YouTube, or tune in on Apple Podcasts and Spotify for the latest conversations. Love today's episode? Let me know. Leave me a comment and tell me what your biggest takeaway was from the conversation. Have a request for a future topic or someone you'd like to hear me interview? Find me on Instagram at Beauty Biz Collective and drop me a DM. And if you're hungry for more actionable content to help you grow your bridal business, click the link in the description below this video to sign up for my free on-demand training to learn how to book better quality brides faster, easier, and with less stress. See you next time.